Now, into this video, we're going to be talking about the progression model we've been using with all of our clients. Now, we've been working with more than 400 plus clients in the past, and this is a progression model we've been using, and we can get people pain level down to at least 70% in the first 4 to 5 weeks alone. Now, the results are great, but being great isn't good enough. We want to be awesome. We want to be fantastic. So on this call, I'm talking with my client success manager, Michael. He's been running a private gym for about 25 years himself. So we're going to make the whole process even better. So that way me and my client can get crystal clear understanding of the whole process, what expectation they need to have on a weekly basis, and also on a monthly basis so they can get a best result on the planet and they can get out of their pain as soon as possible. Yeah. So I want to give you a quick overview. So basically right here, that's the entire flow chart looks like once we close the deal. So for example, Nicholas just joined a program, right? So the deal closed on the assessment call. Nicholas say, hey, I think that's a really good idea to work with us. And then the next step will be they join the True Coach app. And they're going to have the onboarding call either with me or somebody else later in the future is when I can't handle all this onboarding call. Basically, on the onboarding call, we're going to tell them, hey, what does it look like in the next 2 weeks? What's your target in the next 2 weeks? And then based on your current assessment, now in week 4, you should feel this. In week 5, you should feel this. In week 8, you should feel this. And maybe in week 10 or week 12, we're going to be adding more strength training. And then later down the line, here's exactly what we're going to do. After that, I'm going to make sure if they have login informations, tell them exactly what to expect on the group coaching call. Make sure they can hop on a group coaching call as well. And also, we're going to be talking about the 3-strike policy. Basically, if you miss the call, no show the call, or reschedule call within 12 hours of the scheduled time, now you're going to trigger that policy. I don't think that's going to be a problem for anybody, but I just have to let them know because we respect your time. So I hope you respect our time as well. So now that everything will be covered on the onboarding call. Also, on the onboarding call, I will tell them basically one thing. Now, you have to make sure you learn the breathing right. So on the onboarding call, basically, I will try to get them internal rotation to 40 degrees on both sides by either just doing a 90-90 exercise, a little bit grounding exercise, or maybe a little bit foam rolling exercise. But the key on the onboarding call, obviously, we're going to go through all the details about the program, the expectations, but the number one key on the onboarding call will be teach them how to breathe properly. Okay, so after the call, as I told Nicola as well, the one thing you need to learn on week 1, just learn how to breathe. You don't have to do anything else. Just learn how to breathe. After that, now inside the program, they can submit all their assessment, their full body assessment, and then they're going to hop on a one-on-one call with me or either client success manager. So either you or somebody else I might be hiring in the future as well. And then we will unlock their program. And the cadence look like is once they join the program, right, you're going to have onboarding call. And in the first months, so first 4 weeks, I'm going to have a call with you every single week. All right. So onboarding call, then call with me, number 1, number 2, number 3. Now, all those calls, my main goal, just get your pain level down, at least 70% improvement. So if your pain level is right around A, I'm going to get you to a 2. Also, in terms of for the assessment, what I like to do just straight like this, internal rotation on your hip, internal rotation, external rotation on your shoulder. And that's it. And then after that, I'll basically give them to you and you can handle all the other restriction, hip flexion, external rotations, strength exercise, gym exercise, and you can play around with them and see how fast you can progress them further. And then, yeah, after the first months, so the first 4 weeks, the cadence for the call will be a little bit different. So will be every 2 weeks. So will be for just 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, and then 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, 3 weeks.
Good, I like it.
Yeah. So basically, you're probably gonna have a 5 to 6 or 7 call with the client, just to get rid of all their asymmetry, all their movement limitations, and then and then all the exercise, all the gym exercise as well. Now, before that, they will be training with me to get your pain level down and also restore a little bit imbalance. And after, let's say, 16 weeks period, Now, this is where we can talk to client, hey, so now right now you basically just finish your program, but if you still have this goal where if you want to still keep training without limitation, keep training without keep coming back, or having this lower back pain in the future, here's what we're gonna do later on.
Yeah, I
Now,
like it.
yeah, so that's the plan right now. Have any questions like so far?
No, I mean, I have some stuff written down too, and it kind of coincides with you a little bit. Assessments and breathing I have for week 1 and 2, neutral, sagittal, the sway back extension, which I think you're dealing with for the most part.
Yeah.
Getting the basics down, restore IR. That's what I have written down. So you hit those. I have weeks 5 and 6, which is perfect, is where I pick it up, is the start the asymmetry, the grounding, glute max, adductor pullback. I'm doing a lot of incorporating with gait stuff, which I really love with them, like getting that hip capsule. But I have that 7 or 8, so I blend it. I call it blend it all together. So once they get the adductor pullback, glute max, couple others, other major ones that I set into that spot, grounding, things like that. 7 and 8, I blend it to where they're upright and doing walking stuff. Like Jan today, we hit it well today. Just overall getting him walking. He doesn't get on his left side when he walks with his left. So that's what I have 7 and 8, and then 9, 10. I have start incorporating exercises similar to the resets that we have, low lat pull type of stuff, like almost the resets shown in the exercises. And
Mm.
then 11, 12, wherever they want to go from there, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a golfer? Do you like to golf? Like find what their goal is, maybe break it down into hypertrophy. Hey, do you want to look good?
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
I mean, like,
sure.
so yeah, like to figure out their goal, like the whole process. So later down the line as well, the whole process will be we're gonna have client in the whole profile. So instead of ask, looking for their goal, now in the discovery process, in the assessment process, or in the sales process, maybe you can call it the sell process. Right now, we're gonna be asking their questions, and we're gonna have a crystal clear details for every single client, and you just
Okay.
have their profile and you know exactly their goals, where their struggle is, and their like basically target in the next 3 to 4 months moving forward. And at that time, you can talk to client on the call as well. Hey, see, I know you on the onboarding form, you tell me that you want to go back to golfing. Right now, you probably can't do it right now, but in the next couple of weeks, here's what we're gonna do. And you're gonna try golf maybe here and there, and you're gonna see the difference. So that's what I want to do.
I love it. Yeah, no, and I guess set up plans accordingly to see what we do. Golfing's got obviously going to be one. I mean, a lot of people are going to want to golf at the older population. People just want to look good, or people want to start running or something like that. I mean, that's maybe the different things that I need to start to reflect upon is, hey, well, let's put it in adult fitness, or let's go into the golf realm, or let's go into, hey, I want to get back to marathon, whatever they want to do. I mean, initially it's going to be hard for them because the pain is so on their minds,
Yeah.
but they don't really have any other goals yet. They don't know what it feels like to be out of pain, right? And I mean, that's what I've sensed. I mean, again, I'm just spitting off what I've seen with my adults. A lot of them are just can't get their head around, hey, I got to be out of pain, like Jan today, 10 years, and we know now, like he's a jujitsu guy. He's in flexion all the time. He's on his right side. He likes to flip people to his right. We talked about that today. So, as also too, like I get you, they're going to have that goal. Hey, I want it. Some of them are just, hey, I don't even have goals yet until my goal is to get out of pain.
Yeah,
Right.
for
I mean,
sure.
that's what we're dealing with. So it might change once they get out of pain. Oh man, I want to try this. I never thought I could do this, or I never could. I want to bike again, or I want to, hike again, or I want to, you know, does that make
Yeah.
sense to you, Alvin?
Oh yeah,
And
100%.
I get what you're
Like
saying too.
that.
Most will probably have an idea like outside of the box of the pain, but some are just, I just want to get out of pain. And then when they get out of pain, once we get them out of pain and they're like, wow, this world opens up to them, man, I can do this again, right? Where I can, and that's cool. That's a cool thing to do, to experiment, but just to be ready for the different possibilities of programming that we can do. Like that, I'm good at all that. Conditioning. Hey, I'm a conditioning certification that's pretty high end. Hey, I just want to be in the best shape for running, or you know,
Yeah, 100%. Like
Marathons.
I literally just got another client this morning, and he's gonna be training with you after the first 1 month as well. So he's an entrepreneur in Spain. He ran a pharmaceutical company, and like he's training for airmen like
Yeah,
in 2.5 months, and he can't run without lower back pain right now. So we're gonna get them
yeah,
to the point where you can do airmen, but also you can sit on your desk for a couple hours without having to worry about your back pain at all.
yeah. Could be
That would
just that too. Hey, I want to work. I want to work without pain. You know.
Yeah, 100%. So I want to get into the fundamentals. So I know we're talking a lot about, the exercise, the expectations. So like what are some of the tangibles, the input that client can see? So what I like for them to see is at least in the first couple weeks, in the first and second weeks, right? I'll tell them you
Hmm.
have to learn one things, learn how to breathe properly. And inside of my mind is if you learn how to breathe properly and just do the 90-90 exercise, your hip IR should be around 30 degrees on both sides. I like to use hip internal rotation. That's a assessment that I use the most. I know you have a slightly different approach, but that's the internal rotation.
No, IR's. I mean, we might go about it differently, but IR's it for
Yeah,
me
but
too.
yeah, for sure. And also straight leg raise 70 degrees on both sides. That's the number one goal in the first and the second weeks. And then I want to kind of do the same, set the clear expectation and the benchmark for each client week by week as well.
Breathing's got to be number one. Being able to relax more than anything. Not only just breathing. Can you breathe in an uncomfortable position? Right.
Yeah,
Let's go beyond the breathing. Like breathing itself is obviously number one. They have to learn it, but they got to learn to be able to do that when they're uncomfortable, fight or flight. Right. That's going to be important. Can they own an uncomfortable position? That's what I find to be the hardest thing for people to break right off the bat.
yeah.
I don't know if you agree with me, but like I
100%.
said, it's really easy to do nothing and breathe and be in a comfortable position. Can they apply that breathing to, oh my God, my brain has doing something and I feel uncomfortable?
Yeah. I would say that will be their main goal in the first and second weeks. What would
Yeah.
be what would be their main goal, let's say in the second to let's do 2 to 4 weeks.
Restore all IR. Restore 70 degrees of shoulder IR, restore for at least 50 degrees. I don't know if you agree with me on that. I just like 5 degrees more than what it needs to be, just so that they get it. 50 degrees of hip IR of, I'm sorry, straight leg raise. If we're going to go with the other one, would you say 30? I think that's pretty 25, 30 degrees for hip IR. Knee,
Yeah.
yeah, femur IR. I don't know what we call that.
So hip IR, you're gonna go for 50 degrees.
50. I like to be comfortable. I think 50 is achievable, and
Yeah.
it's right past that line. It gives you enough of a comfort that they are able to get that opening of the pelvis in the straight.
And shoulder IR, what you're looking for?
70, at least 70. And their ability, and I think even more importantly, their ability to get neutral, whether it be from one side or the other, sway back or extension. Can they own neutrality?
For this one, I want to be more tangible for client as well. Now become neutral, it can mean a
Can
lot
you
of
control your pelvis?
what I mean by that is for me, if client have about 70 degrees of straight leg raise on both sides, the hip IR is beyond 35 or fit or 40 degrees on both sides means their pelvis is already neutral. Let's say I'm the client. I'm asking you, hey Michael, how do I
I
know
gotcha.
I'm getting neutral?
Oberst. Yeah, I know. That's the hard part. Visual. For me, it's visual. Like I can see that they can control it. I do a cat cow type of thing. I know that's wonky, but I use that as a test now. I get them all the way extended as far as possible and breathe 5 times, and then I get them one vertebrae at a time, go the opposite way in a flexion. I mean, I kind of use that now a little bit more. I'm starting to use that a little bit more. I wouldn't say I've perfected it yet, but I've been using it a lot more. I kind of can you control it, right? If I could see you can control, can you get a rounded spine where you're not rounded? Can you get a full extended, and then can you hold those positions and you kind of can you find the middle? I know that's probably not what I know you want more measurement type of stuff, but I'm not quite sure how we would, I mean, unless we can find something for them to be able to get the Ober's test to I don't even know
Yeah.
if they would pass the
So
overs
for,
test at that point.
I mean, like, I think for Uber test, if you have like somebody in your house, right? I mean, if you really want to fix your lower back, find somebody. Everybody got a
Mm,
friend, right? Well, if you don't live with your parents, if you don't live with your wife
yeah.
or your husband, at least find somebody if you're serious about fixing your back pain, right? So just go find somebody, perform the Ober's test, and you should be all good to go. You don't have to do much. I mean, like two times. I mean, two
It's a
times.
tough test though
Yeah, yeah, I know.
for
But
somebody. Yeah, I
yeah.
get you.
Yeah, but client need to go out there and trying to figure out a way as well,
Mhm,
because it is important. All right. And also, I think at this point, week 2, week 4, especially after you pass the over test, your straight leg raise,
mhm,
70 on both sides, hip IR 50 on both sides, and your shoulder IR is about 70 on both sides as well. Your upper body is rotating okay, your lower body is become more neutral. This is where you can see the biggest pain drop, and
mhm,
you're gonna feel like, oh, this feels so weird right now. I didn't really do much of exercise, but then, oh, I'm actually moving better and I'm feeling a lot
mhm.
better as well. So I think what this is where typically the first breakthrough come
So
from.
maybe pain threshold.
Yeah,
You know,
100.
like so you give them like an 8, they come in. I don't know what they come in at. You see them more early on.
Oh
What do
yeah,
you see their numbers at when they say, "What's my
yeah,
pain?"
yeah. So I've been working with more than 400 plus clients. So I think the not necessarily their pain level decrease week by week, but I mean, if they're straight leg race, again, if they can achieve all those assessments in the first call, by the week 2, their pain level will gonna drop dramatically, right? So just depending on how fast you can get them to those results, literally, that's it. So if
It
they
could
can
be. It could
get it in
be.
the first week, the pain level gonna be down like drastically. If you can get there in the fourth week, ideally speaking, everybody should get there in the fourth week. Their pain level should be down.
Maybe use that as like a kind of some data.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've been collecting data for the past. I think I didn't collect all 400 plus client, but I think I've been collecting in the past around 100 client, and it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
really matter if you have, anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt, or sweep
Mhm.
back. Doesn't really matters. I mean, for sweep back, it's a little bit hard because you have to make sure they open up the backside of the pelvis, right? So maybe for sweep back, you're gonna take a little bit longer, but at least
Mhm.
in the first 5 to 6 weeks. Now we're gonna hit this
Yeah,
for
your anteriors are going to have that posterior compression too, but I think more than anything, the swaybacks, you're right. The swaybacks are just more unaware of their body.
yeah, 100%. Cool. Now we get that down. So at this point, I'll be handing all those clients to you, and we're gonna do more asymmetrical training to the non-lateral sides, I would assume. Also, we're gonna do some strength training as well. So is there any target you want client to hit at this stage?
4 to 6 is, can I get in and out of each hip? I mean, that's going to be the main the main goal is, can I get into a hip? Can I get out of that hip? Can I get into the other hip? Can I get out of that hip? Can I rotate my upper and my lower bodies against each other so that I can walk? Remember, walking and breathing are going to be the end goal for anybody, no matter what we do, no matter how we do it, right? We can get a 70-degree straight leg raise all we want, but if they walk and they can't put it all together between the breathing, the walking, and into the foot, we can get into the foot as well. The foot could be an issue. That could be almost like an asterisk, because you might see week 3 or 4, we're getting them out, and then the foot's the problem. I'm seeing that a little bit. But yeah, can we get in and out of each hip? Can we use the breathing and walking to really concrete the pattern?
Yeah, so like, is there any tangible assessment we're looking for here?
What I've been doing is just evaluating their gait. Um, can they get their hip can they get grounded to the side? That's one. I mean, grounding is nothing but, can I get my side, get over to that side, right?
Yeah,
Can they get grounded on each side? Once they get grounded, can they use rotation to get out of that side? And what I mean by rotation is, can their sternum get, say if they're, again, we're talking about right dominant people. Can they get their sternum pointed left? Can they get grounded on the left foot? Can they use the proper foot contacts to heel to big ball pronation? And can they rotate through? I know that's a lot. I don't know if you can.
yeah,
That's just kind of, what I've been using in my own head.
yeah. That's perfect. So let me ask you this. Again, if I'm the client and I
Mhm.
ask, hey, Michael, and again, we're gonna do this one by one as well. How do I know that I can get grounded on my right side on my left? How do I know?
I guess the measurements again, right? If you're
Yes.
able to get on the left side,
Yeah.
can you go walk and keep those measurements?
So
You
again,
know?
pass the walking test. So again, I mean, like passing the walking test. I have this walking test right here. So after successful changes, walk about 20, 50 yards, and
Yeah.
then we test all the range of motions. At least they can maintain for about 80 to 90%. Otherwise, they can't ground it to that side. Okay. And how can I know that I'm using the rotation right? And how can I sense my full contact right?
Number one, I know that's more of a objective test, but visual, what does it look like? Can I, what does it look like when I'm walking? Does it feel different?
Hmm.
Those are the type of questions that I ask, whether or not, and a lot of the times just clicks. Like today, Jan clicked. Um, Anybody that got up to walking finally that I felt comfortable with them starting to walk. What I do now is a two-step test. So
Mm,
say they need to be on their left-hand side. I get them, hey, I need you to bend. I need you to reach your arms. I need you to get your center of mass back. I need to use the right foot contacts to push my left hip bone. That's where the hip, you do the hip capsule and stuff first. Can I get there? And then can I rotate my sternum to the left? Then I walk through twice till I get back to my left hand side. And then I have them freeze. And what does it look like once they get back onto the left hand side? And a lot of the times is they're back where they started. So I have them now do it again. So I haven't even filmed it yet, but I have them do the one step forward and backwards. Then I have them take two steps, take a freeze frame of the position they're in, and they realize I am not in the same position as I started as. And then I make them patternize that again. Does that make sense?
yeah, that
So
makes
two
perfect.
steps. So it's if you're a right dominant person, you can't get on your left. We start with the left, get them in the proper positions. They walk, step through once, step through twice. Now they're back onto that left hand side. Freeze. What does it look like? Oh wow, my sternum is still to the right. I am not grounded on my left hand side. Like that's the assessment that I use now. That's where I'm going. I'm not saying that I have perfected it yet, but I love it. Right. And Jan today got it. He was like, and it was harder for him. It's just getting him to do the step through. He was one of the harder clients because he just doesn't know how to, he's different. He's a jujitsu guy on the ground and he's like a Sonic the Hedgehog,
Yeah.
rolled up. But yeah, that's where I'm going with the walking part of it. And it could be right or wrong. This is in my head getting into this position because remember, these people that I am seeing are first time they're in this position for me online.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it. I have them step back a couple steps so they can get two steps in. I teach them to freeze. And what we could do is a posture assessment. Maybe
Mhm.
something like that posture thing. If I could somehow have them freeze, take a picture of the posture assessment, send it. Hey, let's look at it. Where are you at? Okay, where were we supposed to be? I can make a dummy posture assessment of what we should be looking like to start, get them there, and then where do you go after the second step? Is Are you grounded on the left hand side? We talking about that app again might be a good place to start to really be creative with this and
Mm.
figure out some real positive. Like we can use visual data now. There's
Yeah.
going to be the objective data of them, but if you're going back to a sway back that doesn't know the sense of their body, I have people that have no idea still what they're doing, right? And that's an outlier.
Mm.
But overall, if we can maybe take a snapshot, if I can figure a way out to snapshot them on that, we'll call it the two-step assessment, and then have them start where they are, we can take three pictures,
Yeah.
or two pictures. One, when I get you into that spot, you start. Where do you end on the second step? Are you back there again? And just it's almost like running, like I teach sprinting. It's could use True Coach. We don't have to use that app so much, but I mean that app could be set up for us because it has like the things we can make our own. Okay, or you shifted that way? Where's your hips? Where's your chest? Sternum. Where's your hips? What are those two things? What do your feet look like? Those three things, maybe we can start to zone in on. They got to be on the heel, right? They got to have the hip over top so they're grounded and their pressures in their left foot. And where's their sternum at? You'll see real quickly when they're on the second step, they lose it. They can't redo it. Like So it's a pattern that we're gonna have to instinctually put into them. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah,
I'm spouting right now, but
yeah. That's all right. That makes perfect sense, actually. Now, so how can client, let's say, how can client tell this by themselves?
walk. Go do some resets, do some things like a hip capsule stretch or whatever you find. Like what I've noticed is what works for them. Where does it click at? Hip capsule, right? If I get them on that walk back hinge, I'll hinge them. I'll get them over their side, that side. I'll get them to get that feeling, and then I'll say, go walk 100 steps with rotation, almost like a robotical. I started them robotical. They look robotical, right? But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I add in swag. Okay, now I don't want you to be so robotical. I want it to happen with less tension. Can you do it with, you're not going to be carrying, you're not going to walk around with like a robot, but can you now loosen up and still get to those spots? Here's the other thing I've noticed today, which I really like, is to get to your left side, you have to have space available on your right shoulder, your left back chest wall, right? We
Yep.
can play with those measurements or vice versa, right? What do those measurements look like? Jan today, 35 degrees of a right IR. His left ER wasn't great. I think cheat the ER a lot on the left side, which kind of weird to me, but just, hey, what do we have space available to move? I got to be able to get into this spot. I need available space here and available space there. Right. Same thing with the hips. If you wanted to do it that way. So if you want to apply measurements to it, do I have space available to move into it genuinely?
That's really awesome progress. I got to tell you this, right? But what am I also trying to do is now I know we're really good at what we do, but later down the line, we're going to bring out somebody else as well. Now,
How do we explain it to them?
yeah, you have to obviously you have to have the certification. Also, you have to learn from Connors or PRI or all those other institutes as well. But like, how can we tell them, hey, this is what we're going after. This is
Hmm.
what we're looking for client in the first week, four and the third week, 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 16 weeks, so on and so forth. So we can replicate a whole process and also let somebody else to learn the whole process as well. So when they comes in, as a part of the training, they can get used to it as fast as possible. Not only they have expectation, but also client have the expectation of what to expect week by week too.
Gotcha. So you're saying abduction test?
Are you using abduction test?
I am not.
Yeah, I mean like so typically what I do is I just get them to do the abduction as exercise, and if they can do it, I mean you're probably passing the abduction test. If they
I
can't,
gotcha. I like that.
you're not ready yet.
I gotcha. Yeah. So I'll look into that. Maybe find some creative stuff and easier ways. That's kind of whittle it down to what we, like you said, I like that. You're right. Do an abduction test versus, just, hey, sideline abduct and shift. There's where that comes in. Can you pass the 4 phases of that?
Yeah.
Can you get on your left hand side? Can you get side abs? Can you get that knee up off the ground a quarter of an inch? Can you extend the right leg out? Can you feel the feelings that you need? Can you get air in your top chest wall?
Yeah.
So we can do it's more of the advanced test, but I think we can maybe even make it a little bit more simple. Can you pass these 4 phases? And that shows you that you're into one hip and out of the other.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be our easiest way, right? We got to show that anyway,
Yeah.
save us time and, give us a measurement all in one.
100%. I mean, for if we can use abduction tests in the future, that would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, isn't that
It-
kind of what it is though? You can use it right from there, really. I mean, that's what it comes down to anyway. It is the abduction test.
Yeah.
But the abduction test, what I noticed is when they do the abduction test, they're into that side, versus us knowing that they got side abs on, they're into their left foot, and then it's kind of teaching them how to do it correctly. So yeah, I mean, I'll look into that. I mean, I can make it a little bit easier and maybe not as hard as the advanced test, but can we get the foot to at least the hip level without any compensations going on? That's where I get more concerned with anything is sometimes it's just hard to see. They got clothes on, they're trying to do something they've never done before. Maybe we can put together the abduction test by doing a reset. You know what I'm saying? That's where I really like that advanced
So
one that he
Yeah, so like here's what I want to do in the futures. So right now we have a lot of really good client, right? But we don't
Mhm.
have a lot of I guess, requirement or standard for client. And I want to raise the bar to another level as well.
Gotcha.
Because I mean, to get you to the best result possible on the call, before the call, you're gonna be prepared as well. So don't
Hmm.
wear baggy clothes. All right, make sure
Gotcha.
you're gym off it. And we're gonna send you the video here. Here's what we're gonna do on the call. We're gonna do abduction test. Here's what we need, and here's what you need to prepare for. So on the call, we can just like do that right away, and client can get a way better result, way faster, and you save
Hmm.
of time as well.
Yeah, it's just those side abs are so important, man. It's just being able to see if daylight what it does tells me a lot about what these guys are. Are they
Mm.
left or they? I mean, at this point, I can tell who can't get a side ab on what side and tell which side they're in. You know, does that make sense? I don't know if you do that, but like, and they know it too. Like, the key to that is them sensing it as well. Like, we keep talking about their feedback. Like, I ask them, like, I see it myself and I say, how does that feel compared to the other side? This one feels so much harder to turn on. Or you'll see them turn it on real quick and then it drops. That rainbow goes, turns it on real quick, and then it just drops. Like, they can't maintain it. Right. So those are the type of things that I think would be huge for not only us to see, but for them to sense.
Yeah, 100%. And like there's one thing I want to add on here real quick because I know at this phase, week 4, week 6, we're gonna be adding more strength training, asymmetrical
Mhm.
training. So in terms of the gym exercise, is there any goal you want them to hit?
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know if 4 to 6 is where we're adding those in at yet. I almost feel like 6 to 10 would be that slot, right? I just want to make sure, number one, like I feel like if we go too fast,
No,
too
no, 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 no.
quickly.
No, I mean, like, so for this part, obviously, we don't necessarily have to add more gym exercise, but we're gonna be doing some asymmetrical work for sure,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So now, if you want to train them right around, 6, obviously everybody's a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm
Let's just
just
do
trying to the average.
so. Let's just play it safe here. So let's say 6 to 10 weeks, right?
Hmm.
After they pass, abduction tests, all the AR they're looking good. Uh,
Hmm.
what are you looking for the gym for your goal?
When they add resistance to their patterns, can they keep the pattern?
Mm,
Right. I don't know if you could say that better, but when we transfer to adding resistance, we
mm,
transfer when we transition to resistance, can they maintain a good pattern?
the
Maintain a
same.
good pattern versus going into an old pattern.
How about this? When you add
But
more resistance, can you maintain the same assessment result?
yeah, so that would be after, right?
Yeah.
So that would be, yes, I mean, that could be definitely part of it. So yeah, when they get off their resistance, do they lose range of motion? When they're finished their resistance training or exercise, does their measurement stay the same, or do they lose the range of motion after exercise or after the exercise? Can they, can you pass for phase for gym goal when Admirals? Can you maintain the same assessment results, upper and lower body?
That's cool. That's cool because
Yeah, I
to
mean,
maintain a sim assessment upper lower body, we're talking about at least 4 to 5 assessment at least.
yeah, yeah. Can they? Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're giving it right back, then obviously we're doing it wrong. When you do resistance training using rotational movements, you should not lose it. Especially if we start with 6 through 10, these are not double bilateral, heavy squats. If I'm doing a bilateral squat, I'm still trying to get a Zercher where they're getting their center of mass back. So it should almost improve upon their ability because, all the exercises that I've come up with in the first half, I haven't even come up with the second half yet because I'm so entrenched in them keeping it that the first half, all these assessments now are basically resets with resistance.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they are. They're the resets now with resistance. Can I now add another level? Remember, the first level is can I breathe getting into the reset
Yeah.
and own that? Can I now own my resistance pattern? Can I own my resistance pattern? Can I keep rotation within the actual movements now? And remember, this is, I talk about this all the time. I'm passionate about this part of it is the body is meant for rotation, the chest muscle, the back lat muscle. all of the muscles are set up for the body to rotate. So therefore, you are going to get a better response if you're able to hit that muscle full length, short length, middle length. The problem is when we go bilateral stuff and we lose that rotation, we do not hit the whole length of the muscle. We're either hitting the shorter length or the longer length, and we're not hitting the whole length.
Yeah.
So can we get full length tension? It's another way you can put it, right? I was just throwing things out, Alvin. You don't have to put everything I say. I'm
All
kind
right.
of, I'm just
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. So like right here, what I got is obviously phase one, just learn how to brace properly, right? Can you
Hmm.
breathe those exercise? And phase two is like, can you maintain this pattern without a weight? Phase
Hmm.
three will
Can can you get into each out of side, each in and out of each side?
yeah. So basically, can you do all those exercises, improving your pattern, improve your assessment without a weight? Phase three will be
Can you rotate correctly?
can you rotate and can you do it even with the pain? I mean, even with the weight?
Yeah. So can you rotate correctly? Can you now you rotate through resistance?
Yeah. And basically the last phase right here, just depending on each client, honestly. For
It'll
I
be
think
clean up. It'll be clean up. It'll be, like we're talking about again, you have your people that are just very in tune with their bodies that just got, maybe bound up with a sport or going heavy, right? Those people are they're easy to work with. They're going to transition to week 10 quicker than somebody like a sway back or somebody that's out of tune with their body. So at that
yeah,
point, you're hoping that the average is week 10, right? So your average person is majority of your people at week 10 are ready for strength training programming where they're getting, less resets, more, the resets become the exercises. So where you're still going to have half the population where you're still trying to, ingrain those patterns to make sure they stick.
yeah, 100%. Now, I think the fastest client I've seen, is within around 6 week mark. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's done right around that six week mark. Like he's hip IR, shoulder IR, like everything passed in the first 3 weeks, and then we add more strength training. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I think back in the day he was like entrepreneur and training for his airmen as well. So like he's the fastest client I've seen, but I think on average we're literally playing safe here. By week 10, everybody should be able to start doing more asymmetrical training gym exercise to
Mm-hmm.
reinforce the right pattern instead of just do a whole bunch of strength exercise, gym exercise right off the bat when you're not even moving well.
Correct. There's always going to be resets. I honestly believe like everybody should have a toolbox of resets. And I don't know if you want to go down that road. Like, hey, Jan today, left hip capsule stretch worked for him. This. Like, build a toolbox for these guys. Like, so instead of them
So
having to go through one
that
through
that
10,
process that process will be around week 10 and beyond, and that's exactly what we're trying to do.
okay, as I like it then. So, like, just find the greatest hits for that person. Greatest hits album for that person to say, hey, if for some reason you have a setback because you did something, you were in a golf scramble and you were the fourth one hitting and you were safe and you decided to go after it, like we do, and you spun out and you tweaked this, like okay, let's not panic. It's not over, right? It was one bad thing. Let's go into our toolbox. We call it a toolbox, call it whatever we want, but these are the things that really got you to place A. Like I guess maybe in my head for each of these people, I start to look at what's the aha one. What's the one that they feel the most? What's the one that gives them the most bang for their buck, and make it a quick playlist of things so they don't feel like they have to go, like you said this, I think early on when we met, is like they don't like to go backwards. So you can't make it feel like it's backwards, but it's more of A and B program. Okay, this is always going to have to come back in. We're like Johnny the other day. We hit a great. It was awesome. Gave him a pals and rounds hip. He was starting to feel the hip, and I know what that feels like because I had it, and it did the pals and rounds. Like, oh man, like that's something that he may encounter because he's stressed all the time and he's a dentist and he's in weird positions working on mouths. Like, I'm not quite sure that when they're at week 10 and 12, like, I don't know if we can be I don't know if we want to say, hey, listen, it's over, you're done, you're good. It's not. It's going to be a constant process for some people where it's not that they have to do this every day, but they need a little toolbox of things for them to reset. Like it's like a diet, right? During the week you do well, and then one day you just happen to be at a party and you just wanted to have fun. You had beers and you had cake and you had this. It's not over. Monday, get back on the horse, though, right? It can be over if you just continue to go down that path, but it's almost like an emergency toolbox kit where don't panic. Let's get back to the bait. These are the 4 or 5 things that got us here, and you twist it a little bit here or there, or you went off I don't want them to think, because then the first time they get to week 13 and they do something in the gym or they turn a certain way, like everybody does it. I still do it. You probably still do it.
Oh yeah, I
So
mean
is
like
that
100%. Like, so there's one more thing I forgot to tell you actually. Now, so right now we just add another onboarding form. So on the onboarding form, I bet because right now everybody who joined, they're gonna have a onboarding call with me, right? So on the
Mhm.
onboarding form, we ask some simple question like, are you stressed every single day? If you're stressed, gotta fix that. Are you sleeping 7 hours a day, right? If you're
Mhm.
not, gotta fix that. Are you using your mouse to breathe at night, right? If you do that, just tape your mouse and use nose strap. And also, we're probably gonna let them to do a quick foot pictures so we can take a look at their arch, how their foot is structured. If you have any ankle problem, and we're gonna recommend the shoes right away, right off the bat on week 1. So we're gonna basically get all those low-hanging fruit and trying to solve the problem as fast as possible. And also in the whole process, we're going to be building more habit assessment and everything in their own toolbox, and also for the education as well. So that way, once they left the program, or if they choose to stay on the program to keep working with us to their future goals, whatever, they are being taken care of. Right. So it's not like you're left the program and then you're on your own and you have no idea what to do. It's not going to be like that at all. So if you guys don't have any questions, that should be it today's call.
Alvin, another great session, kid. Good job.